Right. So I mentioned last week about something about an impossible puzzle to solve. Um, Now I already knew beforehand how I was going to solve the problem. The problem is simple. What is the solution? And then we get into the actual problem. Now I did record myself doing all this setup and figuring everything out, but it just didn't really make much sense to do. But yeah, as you can see, this is the problem. Um, The point is, how do you now? The original problem I framed it as, because I thought this was the original problem, um, was more so to do with the fact that anybody can just, well, yeah, you can soft lock yourself at any point, right? That's not gonna stop you. Here, you're soft locked until that happened. The point's quite simple. You can teleport anywhere, and if you can teleport anywhere, how do you cause the player to not teleport in certain places, like inside a wall? The solution was just have a built-in timer. This second here, run down all this, okay? Whatever. That was solved pretty simple. I knew I was going to do anyways. There was this one clip I might show, because we feel very smart whenever I done it. We got to XY2103. It's 64 per block. So just do 21 divided by 64, which is so it's like that's about quick math tells us it's about here. Um that's actually incredible. But see, in my head, this was gonna be a box. This section here, a bit of a maze, I guess. And you'd have to figure out how to go from one place. Like somehow it being a maze would make sense, right? And for all intents and purposes, this is how much of a maze my normal maze is made whenever I made like Widow 1. Um, that I did. Now, the reason that was in my head is because I've made many levels before in Widow 1, right? To do with teleporting. And now, this here, in a sense, I would argue is still to do with teleporting. Literally just teleport one end to the other. And surprise or not, one of the most simple solutions for teleporting is get this, just have walls everywhere. And then players can go into some walls and they can't others. Simple as. The problem with this one that might be obvious and probably should be obvious, right? You see this? Like, even if there's a wall here, I don't have to worry about. Like, yeah, see, like, I can just inch forward and move back until, like, so, like, you control too much, right? And now I'm over at this end and I've missed the challenge. I thought that was Florida. I got trolled, okay? Not my fault. Um, but yeah, so that was the problem. So that's the problem I have to. The problem I have to worry about now is level design. First solution: have a pit at the bottom, right? Um, you know, yeah, if you fall out of bounds, right, whatever, just don't let that happen. Next solution is I need to figure out why teleporting. When you teleport, you're still technically on the ground. Dot velocity, right? And now we do this should be fine, right? Let's do this. Okay, so I was unaware that I was on a block. Yes! Okay, that's great. That's the first problem solved. I'm gonna do this bit in MS Paint to explain the problem I'm having right now. Or that need to be solved, right? The player at any point can just teleport from one end and get to the other, right? And even if they're only in a small section like this here, they can shimmy back and forth and figure their way out of this area into either area they want. And if there's any going above, they can manage to go upwards, right? So we can't really cap much. the question becomes, can we actually make a puzzle or puzzle-ish, whatever? Like, I wouldn't even really call it a puzzle. Can we make an interesting gameplay that doesn't make this too OP? The other answer is yes. For example, we could have it so that there's 3 circles and a puzzle, and you have to figure out the order to press the 3 circles, right? Or the 6 circles, whatever. But it has nothing to do with the mechanic. There's many puzzles you can add to a game, and that utilizes an OP mechanic, but doesn't. The puzzle itself doesn't use the OP mechanic, right? It just exists. Like for this here, it would need to be special, right? Fortunately, we are under a bit control. We have a bit of control. Say this is our window, right? The only way to get into this area here, say, is to either have a area but be inside, be in this area, this bit here about. The same for the other side, or above, or above, right? Like if you're right here, you can turn me back and forth, but you can't get over here. So we can lock the player out, right? So there is something. As for how I'm going to do the level design, level was found. This is the level. Okay, so it's not as much of a maze as my mazes were previously in the other game, but it turns out it is still much maze-like in the box. Yes, I would. It turns out the initial idea with boxing when teleporting made sense. The thing that I got wrong was, and this was something I did do properly in previous radar, so I don't know why I didn't really consider this until I was a bit late, was to consider the teleportation. Here, the teleportation is a rectangle here. So I copied and pasted I used a pattern here to just go through this and was like, okay, and then, so I got a basis. And from that, I edited at will this long section. So basically, the player goes blah 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 blah, and there's also subtle, but there is this animating thing here that vaguely tells you the path to go if you're paying attention. It's not something you'll notice, but it's something that should help the player just nudge them in the direction without them realizing. That's the goal. So that you know, there's no up and down at the moment. Even if you pause, it works as expected. The y-axis stays the same, right? The y-axis is nice on you. Now there is no rush here. And here also, you can just walk across, where you can send me one way or the other. If you go the other section, you eventually find out it's a dead end, and you can reach back to the main section. It's not too important here. If you will get stuck, but it's fine, you know. And here you cannot reach the checkpoint, but you can hit it. And now if we drop down a bit. But anyways, we go here. And your immediate reaction is going to be to go this way, which is fine. There is a wall here. That kind of suggests, hey, maybe don't go that way. And then we're at this bit here, which is the final puzzle. Because, get this, if you jump, the end is right there. You see the end, but you just cannot reach it. And it doesn't matter when you jump or all that. The solution is simple. That's the solution that I've shown there. And this is going to break because I opened the wrong place. And that's the level.